When you sign up to be a Real Housewife, you're agreeing to put your friendships, feuds, and family drama on full display for millions of viewers. But what most people don't realize is that you're also potentially handing criminals a detailed instruction manual for breaking into your home. Kyle Richards casually walking us through her jewelry collection, Dorrit giving architectural tours of her Encino estate. This isn't just entertaining reality television. It's essentially providing burglars with blueprints, security blind spots, and a catalog of exactly what's worth stealing. What we're exploring today goes far beyond celebrity gossip. This represents a dangerous intersection where reality television, social media oversharing, and organized crime converge to create the perfect storm for targeted robberies. The statistics are alarming. Homes without security systems are 300% more likely to be burglarized, and 65.1% of burglary victims personally know their thief. When you broadcast your entire life on national television, that percentage likely climbs even higher. These are the Real Housewives who learn this lesson the hardest way possible. Dorrit Kemsley's October 2021 home invasion represents the most disturbing case in Real Housewives history. 3 armed men broke into her Encino home around 10:50 p.m. while her 2 young children slept upstairs. Her husband, PK, was conveniently in London on business, leaving Dorrit alone and vulnerable. The intruders held her at gunpoint, grabbed her, threw her to the ground, and threatened her life repeatedly. "Get down to the ground. I'm going to kill you," they commanded, while she begged for her life and pleaded with them to spare her children. The thieves made off with approximately $1 million in valuables, designer handbags, jewelry, watches, and basically Dorrit's entire personality in material form. But here's where the story takes a sinister turn. On recent Real Housewives of Beverly Hills episodes, Garcelle Beauvais dropped a bombshell suggestion that someone close to Dorrit potentially orchestrated the entire robbery. "For 2.5 years, this was my feeling," Garcelle said, finally voicing what many fans had been whispering online. When Garcelle speaks, people pay attention because she's typically the voice of reason cutting through the chaos. The theory centers on PK Kemsley's well-documented financial troubles. Court records show he's faced multiple lawsuits, substantial gambling debts, and bankruptcy filings. The insurance payout from $1 million robbery would conveniently solve numerous financial problems. Social media exploded with theories, with one viral tweet stating, "PK setting up his wife's robbery while she's home with the kids is very, I'll take my chances with the insurance company over the loan sharks." Brutal assessment, but the circumstantial evidence makes people suspicious. Several elements fuel these conspiracy theories. First, the robbery was executed with almost surgical precision. The burglars knew exactly where to find the most valuable items without wasting time searching random rooms. They completely avoided the children's bedrooms, suggesting intimate knowledge of the house layout. They were in and out within minutes without physically harming anyone beyond threatening Dorrit. Either these were the most professional and considerate criminals in history, or someone provided them with a very detailed floor plan and instructions. Second, the timing of PK's London business trip seems incredibly convenient. Third, Los Angeles Police Department released suspect photos showing 2 men in dark hoodies who broke in through a sliding glass door. Yet no arrests have ever been made despite the high-profile nature of the case. LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division, which specifically handles celebrity cases, took over the investigation but has produced 0 results years later. Dorrit's reaction to Garcelle's accusations raised eyebrows across the fandom. Instead of being outraged that her supposed friend would publicly suggest her husband orchestrated her trauma, Dorrit seemed more concerned about the optics and storyline implications. Very "how dare you say it out loud" energy rather than "how dare you think my husband would do this." For someone who genuinely had no suspicions about her husband's involvement, you'd expect much stronger defensive reactions. What's particularly disturbing is how Dorrit has transformed this genuinely terrifying experience into multiple seasons of storylines. Most people try processing and moving past trauma privately, but Dorrit has leveraged her robbery for maximum screen time and sympathy points. By season 5, cast members were visibly exhausted with robbery talk, yet Dorrit continued bringing it up at every opportunity. The cynical interpretation is that she's milking the incident for all it's worth because it's her most compelling storyline. The most believable theory circulating online isn't that PK directly hired criminals, but that he told the wrong people about his wife's jewelry collection and their home's layout while trying to settle his gambling debts. Essentially, PK painted a target on Dorrit's back, whether intentionally or through reckless desperation. This theory allows for Dorrit to be a genuine victim, while still questioning PK's role in creating the circumstances that led to the robbery. Jennifer Aiden experienced a different type of violation in New Jersey when thieves stole her husband Bill's $200,000 red Ferrari California directly from their garage. Jennifer was vacationing in Miami when she got the call at 11:06 p.m. and immediately documented everything on Instagram. The surveillance footage she posted online shows the garage doors opening, a man sprinting inside to grab several pairs of shoes before passing them to accomplices, and then someone jumping into the Ferrari and speeding away. All perpetrators were covered head to toe in hoodies, masks, and dark clothing. The terrifying part? Jennifer's 17-year-old son Justin pulled up moments after the thieves departed. Jennifer later wrote, "Thank God he wasn't there 30 seconds earlier to cross their path, because if his Tesla had blocked the exit, things could have escalated fast." The implication being her teenage son could have been hurt or killed over a car. The good news is that police recovered the bright red Ferrari within hours because, as it turns out, exotic vehicles are pretty easy to spot on the streets. The bad news is that Jennifer admitted Bill accidentally left his BMW unlocked in the driveway before their Miami trip, and the thieves likely found the garage opener inside. This highlights a crucial security flaw many wealthy people overlook. You can have the most expensive alarm systems and security cameras, but if you leave vehicles unlocked with garage openers inside, you've essentially handed burglars the keys to your kingdom. According to FBI statistics, only 12% of burglaries are planned in advance, with most being impulse decisions when criminals spot vulnerabilities like unlocked cars. Teddy Mellencamp's Los Angeles home was targeted while she and her estranged husband Edwin Arroyav were inside with their 4 children. 3 people jumped the gate, broke in through a side door into the office, and set off the alarm system. But here's the twist that probably saved them from a more serious incident. The intruders lasted approximately 20 seconds before bolting. By the time Teddy and Edwin came downstairs, the burglars had already fled, leaving nothing but open doors and a massive adrenaline spike. Police confirmed 2 men in hoodies had targeted the house immediately after hitting a neighbor's residence, suggesting these were opportunistic criminals working their way through the affluent neighborhood. Edwin believes the alarm and the presence of 6 people in the house spooked the thieves, who clearly didn't expect anyone home. Because let's be real, nobody wants to get caught mid-robbery with a 5-year-old screaming in the background. Edwin described them as fully covered with hoodies and gloves, fitting the professional burglar starter pack, but thought they seemed young, like rookies trying to make it big in Los Angeles' celebrity burglary business. Edwin's observation that break-ins have become an unfortunate thing in LA reflects the growing problem of organized burglary rings specifically targeting celebrity homes. These aren't random crimes of opportunity, but calculated operations where crews study social media, identify when people are away, and hit multiple houses in succession. The fact that Teddy's neighbor was also burglarized the same night proves these criminals are working systematically through neighborhoods known for wealthy residents. Kyle Richards holds the dubious record for most robbery-adjacent incidents in Housewives history. December 2017 found Kyle living her best ski bunny life in Aspen when burglars ransacked her Encino home. They stole over $1 million in jewelry, including pieces from her deceased mother and diamond earrings she literally received on television during a Housewives episode. The emotional value of her mother's jewelry makes this particularly heartbreaking, though the thieves probably only saw dollar signs. The timing demonstrates peak stupidity on Kyle's part. She'd been posting Instagram stories from Aspen for days, essentially broadcasting to the world that her house sat empty. It's like putting up a neon sign saying, "Rob me now." Then in April 2024, history repeated itself when Kyle's daughter Farrah Al-Jafri's West Hollywood home was burglarized. Luxury goods, designer bags, and jewelry vanished, proving that broadcasting wealth on social media runs in the family. Kyle rushing to Farrah's side after the break-in was genuinely touching, but you have to wonder if there was a tiny part of her thinking, "I literally taught you how to be careful after my robbery, and you still got robbed." What's wild is that Kyle has somehow managed to make her robberies less dramatic than her divorce saga. Getting robbed twice should be the most traumatic thing in someone's life, but Kyle's messy separation from Mauricio Umansky dominates so much airtime that burglary barely cracks her top 5 dramatic moments. An estimated $1 million in jewelry and accessories were taken from Kyle's home in 2017, including a ring that once belonged to her mother and diamond earrings her husband gave her on television. Items with both sentimental and monetary value that can never be replaced. Brandi Glanville's Los Angeles home was broken into on October 22, 2018, while she and her two sons, Mason, 15, and Jake, 11, were actually inside. Yes, inside during broad daylight, which makes it exponentially scarier than nighttime break-ins. Brandi told Us Weekly, "I'm fine, but shaken up. We have an alarm system, but it wasn't set because we were home and I felt safe." This represents one of the most common security mistakes people make, only arming alarms when leaving, not realizing that daytime home invasions while families are present have become increasingly common. Brandi didn't share specifically what was stolen, but said the worst part was thinking about what could have happened if she or the kids walked in during the robbery. She even tweeted it was her nightmare scenario. For Brandi, usually the nightmare involves wine glasses flying across tables during cast dinners, but this represented genuine danger. Afterward, she warned fans to always set their alarms regardless of being home and upgraded her security with new locks and privacy tint. Basically, Brandi's turning her house into Fort Knox because feeling safe in your own home during daylight hours shouldn't be a luxury. Erika Jayne's situation with Tom Girardi's $16 million Pasadena mansion burglary adds another layer to an already complicated legal nightmare. Police received a call late on January 22nd about a broken window at the property. They arrived to find classic "we've been robbed" energy. But here's the bizarre part: nobody could determine what was actually stolen. Imagine breaking into a mansion that massive and leaving cops scratching their heads, wondering if anything was even taken. Tom, 81, was living in the mansion alone after Erika moved to her $1.5 million single-girl pad post-divorce. Days before the burglary, a judge officially handed control of Tom's life to his brother Robert because Tom had a medical emergency and allegedly couldn't handle his own affairs anymore. Translation: the man was forgetting things, including multi-million-dollar lawsuits. Tom faces bankruptcy, a class action mess over missing Lion Air crash victim settlement funds he allegedly misappropriated, and Wells Fargo suing him for breaching agreements. Basically, the only thing not suing Tom Girardi at this point is his thermostat. The timing of the burglary amid Tom's cognitive decline and legal troubles raises questions about whether someone took advantage of an elderly man living alone in a massive mansion, or if the incident connects to the numerous people Tom allegedly defrauded over his legal career. Between the burglary, conservatorship, and lawsuits, that Pasadena mansion isn't just a house, it's a full-blown soap opera set where reality and crime intersect. Lala Kent's Palm Springs getaway turned into a crime scene when she took a family and friends trip that included her mom Lisa, plus Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright with their kids. On their last day, Lala's mom walked outside and noticed something wrong. Someone had raided Lala's car like it was a Black Friday sale, with every compartment opened and belongings tossed everywhere. Worst of all, Lisa's ring was gone. Not just any ring, but one she picked up in Puerto Rico while Lala was pregnant and filming a movie. Meanwhile, Jax and Brittany's car also got hit in the same incident. But plot twist, the thieves opened everything, surveyed the contents, and decided they weren't interested. Even criminals don't want Jax Taylor's stuff, which is perhaps the most savage burn imaginable. The Palm Springs incident highlights how rental properties and vacation destinations create opportunities for criminals who target tourists unlikely to have installed security systems or taken precautions in temporary accommodations. Marlo Hampton from Real Housewives of Atlanta experienced genuine terror on July 1st when armed, masked men literally kicked down her front door while she was home with at least one of her teenage nephews. Marlo heard the boom, then her nephew screamed, and she immediately knew this wasn't the kind of drama Bravo cameras want to capture. She grabbed her boys, headed straight for the panic room, and called 911. Fortunately, the intruders fled before police arrived, probably because they heard those screams and realized they'd picked the wrong house. Marlo later said, "Thank God we're covered in the blood of Jesus." And honestly, with how frequently housewives' homes get targeted, prayer might be the strongest security system available. But here's where it gets bigger and more concerning. Police believe the same gang behind Marlo's break-in has been systematically working through Atlanta, targeting celebrity homes like it's a coordinated shopping spree. Just days later, officers caught 4 suspects trying to break into the townhouse of one of Future's baby mamas. They also believe rapper Gunna's house was on the hit list, proving these organized crews are studying celebrity residences and planning systematic attacks. Caroline Stanbury from Real Housewives of Dubai returned from a family trip to Mykonos in June 2022 to find her vacation home ransacked. Among the stolen items was her husband's wedding ring, which feels particularly personal and cruel. Dubai was supposed to be the safe franchise where oil money and luxury existed without LA crime rates, but apparently broadcasting wealth globally creates vulnerability globally. Then there's Wendy Osefo, whose April 2024 burglary turned into the franchise's biggest fraud scandal. Wendy claimed her Finksburg, Maryland home was broken into during their spring break Jamaica vacation. She described feeling heartbroken and violated on the Gabbing with Gib podcast, insisting the incident was targeted. But in October 2025, everything exploded when Wendy and her husband Eddie were arrested for insurance fraud. Law enforcement officials said the couple lied about the burglary to collect massive payouts from 3 different insurance companies. They also discovered the couple had returned items they claimed were stolen and received refunds before the alleged burglary even occurred. Most damning of all, Wendy and Eddie reportedly signed documents stating they lost $450,000 worth of property and their home suffered $2,500 in damage. All fabricated. On the same day they reported the burglary, Wendy posted an Instagram teasing the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion with a Bonnie and Clyde reference. Social media erupted with comments like, "No robberies in 20 years and you falsify the first," and "Wendy, we expected so much more." Following the arrests, Bravo pulled Wendy's scheduled episode of the upcoming Wife Swap, the Real Housewives edition, and reportedly resumed production on Real Housewives of Potomac on October 11th to capture the other ladies' reactions. The entire scandal proves that insurance fraud involving fake burglaries isn't just criminals targeting housewives, sometimes it's housewives becoming the criminals themselves. The most recent attacks occurred in November 2025 when both Kathy Hilton and Sutton Strack's Los Angeles homes were burglarized on the same day while they attended BravoCon in Las Vegas. Hilton's home was broken into even though her husband Rick was home at the time, with the burglary reported at 11:48 p.m. Sutton's home was also targeted that same day, with thieves entering through a kitchen window and stealing all her luxury handbags, including pieces from Hermes and Chanel. "They also took my fine jewelry," Sutton said in a statement. She immediately hired 24-hour security and replaced her existing surveillance systems.